Happy Halloween, movie mavens. It's so hard to believe that it's already time to release our second Halloween video, that the bmovies blog will turn 2 years old in a couple of months, which is crazy. Just wowza. So I just want to go ahead and give a disclaimer up top, speaking of today being the Halloween video, and obviously Lisa Frankenstein is Lisa Frankenstein, really original, but this was the big Halloween costume reveal. Love it, here for it. Got the little peach ring and the lightning bolt, white out nail polish, whole 9 yards. I just want to go ahead and give a disclaimer up top, like I was saying. If this is your first holiday season with us, which it's only our second holiday season to be here, our Halloween video is a little bit different than what we usually do. And by that I mean, this video isn't going to dive into pop culture like we usually do. This is more of a sentimental, think of this as like a very special episode of B-Movies. This is sentimental. We're going to talk about my mostly non-existent love life. We're going to follow up on that mixer that I mentioned in Bailey's Babble in last week's video. We're also going to talk about my mom, KP. So if this video is not for you, I totally understand. Never fear. We will be dropping a packed, like I am having to work all week on this script, packed video this weekend. So we will see you then. However, if you want to stick around for updates, again, not updates on my love life, as well as to learn about why Halloween means so much to me, I'd love to have you. We'd love to have you. So basically, if you're here for hot goss or to hear about my mom, please feel free to stick around and appreciate you being here. If not, we'll see you this weekend. The only CWTW I have for this video, I am going to talk about my mom, who is no longer with us. So if parental passing is something that is triggering for you, just a heads up, I will start that section as what Halloween means to me. So when you hear that section, tune it off. So let's go ahead and get started. Since it is spooky season, let's talk about the scariest thing of all, which is dating. And I talked about this a little bit last week, but I basically took a 4-year sabbatical from dating. And like I begrudgingly hopped on the apps a couple of times. I know so many people who've met their personal dating apps. Dating apps are just not it for me, y'all. Like if I wanted to fling, I never had an issue with dating apps, but I've never had anything substantial. I just don't like them. Like, I'll just be point blank honest with you. I just don't like them. But as I mentioned, in last week's video, I texted this guy recently that I hadn't spoken to, in a very long time. And I genuinely can't tell you if the last time that we were talking or dating or whatever. I can't tell you, to be very honest. I liked him. I think he liked me. But again, I don't know. There was never a conversation around it. There are certain things that were said and done that led me to believe that we were talking. But again, that's speculation. I don't have that confirmation. And so he had just crossed my mind, and I thoroughly talked through every single angle with Elliot. And he might tell me to go F myself. He may have a girlfriend. He may have a girlfriend who tells me to go F myself. Like, we thought through every angle. And Elliot was like, it didn't really end on bad terms. So I don't see the issue. And I was like, okay, I really don't either. And so again, like I've said before too, this is the year of the bold. I'm making just bold moves, just because I'm just going for it on some stuff. And so I did it, and he responded a few hours later, and honestly, his responses were pretty thoughtful, and I was kind of reminded of hey, this is why I liked you the first time around. Okay. But then after a couple days, I texted him, and he didn't text me back, and so I gave it a couple of days. And I sent him a voice memo. I'm a voice memo girly. I know I have a problem. Intervention's on Thursday. Let me know if you can bring chips. I know. But I had sent him voice memos before. I didn't switch up the medium on him, And so I sent a voice memo and he never responded. And so I let 2 weeks go by with nothing. And so I wound up messaging him one last time because I have this philosophy that I have abided by for years called the rule of three. And what the rule of three is that if I can tell someone's upset with me, or like maybe a friendship's petering out, or even just with someone that I had been kind of dating or talking to, I will text you 3 times over the course of a couple weeks. And if you don't respond after that 3rd time, I will not text you back unless you text me first. And it's not like a petty thing. It's just I want to give you space if that's what you're asking for, but I also want to make sure you're okay. And so I decided to text him one more time after 2 weeks. And so I sent him a little voice memo that was basically like, hey, are you alive? And he responded. And I was like, okay. And he was like, we've learned I'm bad with voice memos. And I'm like, okay, great. And so I texted him back a few hours later. He emphasized my text. And I haven't heard anything since. And that was last week. And so I'll be very transparent here. I texted him and told him that I needed that I might need a second opinion on a costume that, just to be 100%, I looked super hot in. I knew I looked good in it. I was feeling myself. It, was really popular on my 13 days of costumes. It's what I wore to that singles mixer, which we'll get to in a minute. I looked great in it. I knew I looked great in it. I felt great in it. But I even tried to kind of bait a little bit. I'll be very transparent. And then I could send him a picture and be like, just a reminder that I am very attractive. I'm hello, hi, a really great catch is right here waiting for you. And he didn't respond. And so obviously I didn't send him any pictures because that would be insane. And he still hasn't. And it sucks because I do think there's potential here. And I have zero confirmation that he likes me. As devil's advocate, do I have any no, I don't. And I don't even know if, quite frankly, he did ever like me. Just to be totally honest, I don't have that confirmation. And so, again, it sucks because I think there's potential here, but to be fair, because anytime I talk about my life on the internet, y'all know I'm fair. And if you read Love is a Working Title, I fessed up to a lot of horrible things I did. A whole lot of horrible, regrettable things I did. All the self-sabotaging when I was drinking, everything. Fully fessed up to everything I did. So I'm just speaking from my perspective here. But again, I don't know that he ever liked me. And just from my perspective, I can't handle a lack of communication. I'm a communication queen. I am an over communicator. And my thing is, I will not place those unfair expectations on anybody else, right? I'm not going to put that. I am probably too courteous in my communication. And I could handle it if he checked in every now and then, or even told me he preferred phone calls. That's fine. Anything. Give me anything. I'm a very rational girly. I truly am. And when we were talking the first time, I had a lot going on. To be very honest, I am not the same person I was 3 years ago. I'm not. At all. I am still me, in corporeal form, yes. And just more tattooed, things like that. But I've had so much personal growth over the past 3 years. And I'm very rational. But at the same time, I'm also not the same girl that's just going to text until you text me back. And as much as I hate it, I think that this second opportunity was just to, I guess the lesson here is for me to not be afraid to put myself out there. But I guess as much as I don't want to, I guess it's just time to move along with this. I don't want to, but I truly don't know what to do at this point because I literally have to remind him that I exist and I shouldn't have to do that. So I'm not going to text him anymore. If he wants to talk, he knows where to find me. So that is that, to give y'all a little Halloween ghost story, literal ghost story, I guess. That's the guy situation that I mentioned in last week's video. So that leads us to the singles mixer. So I went to a singles mixer on Saturday night. I won't bury the lead. I didn't meet anyone, but I totally don't regret going. I chatted with the photographer of the event. She was super cool. But in the words of my brother-in-law, it had big middle school dance energy. Like, the guys and the mass presenting peeps clumped together. The girls and the femme presenting peeps clumped together. No one was really mingling. As y'all know, like, I am queer, but there was no way to tell who was queer and who wasn't. And usually at these events, there's a singles edition and a queer edition. There was one guy that I thought was kind of hot. And by kind of, I mean, like, he was hot. He had a very big, like, Dan Stevens vibe going. But I could also tell that he knew he was pretty. And what I mean by that is, and do not take offense to this, please, there's nothing wrong with dressing up as Han Solo for Halloween. You know, like, I grew up with Star Wars, Star Trek, and all of it. But there are two types of Han Solos. There are guys who are great, who just dress up as Han Solo to have a good time. And then there are guys who know they're attractive and dress up as Han Solo because they know Han Solo is also attractive. And he was definitely in the second camp. And then when I went outside to call my ride share, he stepped outside to vape something that smelled grapey. So yeah, it was like a grape. It smelled like grape candy. And so I was like, okay, dodged a bullet there. But yeah, I stayed for about an hour and a half and then I went home. I'm open to trying another event like this before they have a more like traditional like speed dating type thing. Definitely open to trying it. But I'm proud of myself for putting myself out there. Like I said, I'm still lukewarm on the apps, so I don't know if that's happening anytime soon. But I'm officially dipping my toes back into the dating pool. And to kind of tie up last week's video, I do feel bad for going a little bit because, again, I felt like I was like, crap, I texted this guy out of the blue. And, like, how's that going to look? But at the same time, he's literally not responding to me. So there's nothing I can do. So, moral of the story, getting back out there, trying to be bold. And we're seeing what happens, I guess. That's where we are there. So, finally, let's dive into why Halloween means so much to me. And so for this part of the video, I'm going to say, you know, like, warning for parental passing. So if that is triggering for you, I hope you have a happy Halloween. Stay safe, eat lots of candy, and we will see you this weekend. Thank you, Movie Mavens. Love you all. But for those sticking around, let's dive into why Halloween means so much to me. And if I cry, no, I didn't. So when I was growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. For those who don't know, I grew up in a house with DV. Both of my parents were on disability. And so we didn't have a lot of money. And I also grew up in a small conservative town where I was teased a lot for being the person that you see before you. Because even though, again, I've grown as a person, I have basically, not literally because I've been 5'10" since like the 5th grade, but like, you know, I have grown into a very much more confident, girly, and, but my essence has always been the same. Like I have always just been Bailey McLeod Perkins, and that's all that I can be. And so, at Halloween, I could be myself without getting teased. I didn't have to worry about being made fun of. And also, we didn't have a lot of money, and so Halloween isn't commercialized like Christmas. And again, like, y'all know I love Christmas. I wear an ugly sweater with the best of them. I have multiple Christmas trees in my house. Like, I love Christmas. I do, but it's just not Halloween. And at Christmas is so commercialized, and you have to buy gifts, and there's this such, like, a competitive spirit to, like, keep up appearances and to compete with each other and try to upstage each other with presents. And Halloween to me is just about putting on that handmade costume that you feel so proud in, and you just get to become a character for a night. And it's about renting horror movies from Blockbuster and pumpkins and candy. And my mom just always made the holiday so special. And like, my mom handmade my costumes into my 20s. I'm already getting teary-eyed. Y'all already know where this is going. She made my costumes into my 20s. And, we started the season out every year with, whoo, I was I was trying to make it through, and I can't. We started every season out with Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, and the Halloween tree. And for those, if you know, my Metroplex peeps, Kroger would have those giant sugar cookies with that hard royal icing with those Halloween scenes. And that's what we would do, because there was a video store inside my Kroger. And we would go, and it was just, I would come home to, even though we didn't have money, she would have made Halloween decorations. And, we had decorations that she had had for years. And the porch would be covered in painted or carved pumpkins that she'd gotten on sale. And this year has just been a lot. And y'all know that. It's been a lot of good. It's been a lot of bad. And I've just really missed my mom this year. Sorry. Woo. I knew that it was, that's why I have like 18 pounds of setting spray on my face, because I knew I was going to bawl. But her birthday was a couple weeks ago, for those who don't know. And Halloween was also her favorite holiday. And for some reason this season's been really, really hard without her. And, sorry. There's something so surreal to me about being in a Lisa Swallows costume and just like bawling about my dead mom. Because, I guess it's from one dead mom girly to another in Lisa Swallows. But I always feel really connected with her during this time of the year. And so even though this is the third year that I've gone without my traditional fall/Halloween care package, because I would get a box shell that was like the half my height. Like it would be like in the cartoons when they have like the package that basically you can only see their legs and they're like wobbling back and forth. Like it was comically oversized. I'm still dressing up. I'm still going to the movies. I'm still getting special treats. Because as much as this holiday meant to me when my mom was alive, it means even more to me now, because I feel her during this time of year, and whatever you believe, I feel her. And so, for those who don't know, it also breaks my heart because she never got to see me movies. And, especially during like all of our Halloween content, I know how much she'd love it. So I just wanted to end the video for her. Because, even before she died, she was my biggest cheerleader. And so I sign things off for KP for always. And so, we're going to sign this video off, with Happy Halloween, Movie Mavens. I love you all so much. I hope you're having a wonderful Halloween. Sorry that I've cried on camera for the 48,000th time. Whoops. But happy Halloween to you. Happy Halloween to my mom. And 4KP for always.